Hey guys, this is Tetos coming at you with a beginner's guide for League of Legends for the rune system. This isn't about how to set up your rune page perfectly or about meta changes, rune changes. It's just about the system in general, how you can actually use runes, how to change them, how to buy them, what are they good for, how effective are they, how useful are they, how much are they worth, and what different types of runes there are and stuff like that. So just stay tuned for my tutorial. First off, we are going to take a look at where to buy them, which is the store. Quite frankly, you can just go there by clicking the orange button on the top, then on the runes item on the left, and then you will get an overview of all the runes and also the rune pages which you can buy. First off, you can only buy the runes with IP, with influence points. This is the currency that you get by playing the game. You cannot buy runes with riot points, which is the premium currency. You can, however, buy additional rune pages with riot points or influence points as you wish. So some might say the system isn't pay to win, but it is a bit, because you have to play a lot to unlock all the runes, even more than for some champions in some cases. If you want, for example, 3 of those, you have to pay more than 4,000 influence points, which is more than for quite a few champions. So you have to save your points and spend them wisely, because you don't need all the runes to succeed in the game, not even in high-level games. So save up your IP and look for special rune guides for your favorite champions on how to rune them correctly so you don't waste your points. For this same purpose, I have a couple of tips for you as well. First off, runes are divided in 4 categories or types: the marks, the glyphs, the seals, and the quintessences. The quintessences are the big runes. You can only have 3 of them in a rune page, and they can give you pretty much any stat at all. They can give you combat stats like armor, magic resist, they can give you attack damage, but also some nifty bonuses like a critical strike chance, critical strike damage, experience gained, as you can see here, time dead reduced, movement speed, spell vamp, which is the amount of health you restore when using spells, or lifesteal, which is the amount of health you restore when using auto attacks. So there are many things you can actually get by buying and using runes. The quintessences, as I said, are the big ones. The seals are the yellow ones. These are usually for defensive stats. The marks are the red ones. These are usually for offensive stats. And the glyphs, the blue ones, are used for magic stats. For example, cooldown reduction, ability power, mana regen. So when I say that every class or every type has a certain purpose, you can also see, for example, we have health runes here. But the reason why I say that the glyphs are used for magic stats usually is because they are the strongest in this area. Because the system is very complicated, and a beginner doesn't know that there are not only these types of runes and also the tiers, which is tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3, which I will talk about later, but also there is some kind of category which is secondary and primary, which I will talk about later too, which is very confusing for a beginner because you can't even see it here when viewing the rune in the store. So you have to be careful about which runes you buy to not waste IP. This is very crucial. So now that you know about the types, I will show you the tiers. We have 3 tiers for every rune. Tier 1, which can be used at level 1 to level 30. Then we have the tier 2 runes, which are exactly the same, but they have a bit higher values. These can be used starting at level 10. And then we have the tier 3 runes, which you can start using at level 20 and up. So usually you would never buy runes below tier 3 because they are quite worthless because you have to replace them with IP and you can't sell old runes. You can use a special feature called the Rune Combiner, but many people label it as worthless, and it's not really worth it. You should just save up your influence points to buy the tier 3 runes, which you can use until the end game, so to say. Okay, so buying runes is very easy. You just have to choose a rune, click the unlock button, choose how many you want, and then click on unlock. This will subtract the IP from your balance, so you have to be careful about how many runes you buy and which runes you buy, because you don't want to waste IP. So you can have up to 3 quintessences on a rune page, 9 seals, 9 glyphs, and 9 marks. So that's why also the quintessences are more powerful than the small runes, so to say. So before we are moving on to the actual rune pages, how to add and remove runes and stuff like that, I wanted to show you the rune pages here, which you can buy in the shop too. You can buy them, as I said, with IP or RP. So you can dump some cash and quickly get a rune page bundle if you want that. Other than that, there is also a rune page sale every now and then. It's not that frequently, so you have to wait a bit for it to happen. During this sale you get 2 pages for the price of 1, which is quite handy. However, I would not wait forever for these, because it takes so long, sometimes months, a lot of months, sometimes even years, I think, for the next rune page sale. I would not wait for this, definitely. Also, we have a special rune sale going on right now because we had the rune changes in a recent patch. This means that all the runes went on sale because they nerfed and buffed most or some of the runes. So all of them are on sale now. This won't be for long now, so don't wait for a rune sale. This usually doesn't happen if there is not a major rework like right now. Alright, now you have purchased the rune and you want to start using them. You can do this by clicking your summoner profile right here and then on runes. You can see that I have 15 rune pages. You can have up to 20, as I said before. And you can remove runes and add runes to a page only here. You cannot do this in Champion Select. I want to emphasize this again. In Champion Select, you can only switch the rune page. For example, you can say, I want to use this rune page or this or that or whatever rune pages you have. But only here in the out of the game, you can change the runes in your page. So for example, I have this rune page here, which has lifesteal, attack damage, armor, and magic resist per level. And we can open all these sub-menus to see all the runes we have and click this button to clear the page. So this is how it looks when it's empty. At level 1 you only have 1 slot unlocked. I think it's one of these, 1 mark. And as you level up your account, your summoner, you unlock these slots. And at level 30 you have all of these unlocked. At level 30 you will be able to use all these slots, which is very important because, as you see on the left, every rune is worth a bit of money. Every rune is worth some stats, which is extremely important, especially in the early game, because it's a huge difference if, for example, you're playing a champion and every attack does 70 instead of 55 damage. This is a huge deal and shouldn't be neglected. So how do you use runes? You just can use drag and drop, for example, click the left mouse button, hold it down and just move it over the correct spot. For example, you can't move the red runes onto a yellow spot, obviously. Or if you do, they will just get added to a red slot. So that's how you do it. Other than that, you can also use right click, which I like to do because it's a lot faster. Just right click on a rune and it will get removed from the page, or you can just use right click here on the runes on the left and it will get added to the page. So this is how you do it. Let me just set this page up again. For example, we had lifesteal quintessences here. Gonna choose 3, then 9 magic resist per level glyphs, which are these, some armor seals, and some attack damage marks for improved physical damage and last hitting. So once you've got it set up, you just have to click the save button, then you can select the rune page with these runes in your next match in the champion select or champion selection. Alright, now that we have the rune page set up, I want to talk about something I touched earlier on, which is secondary and primary runes. For the quintessences, this is not applicable. For example, if I hover over the quintessences, you can see that they don't have anything like that displayed. But for the marks, for example, you can see that this is a primary mark. This is a primary seal, this is a primary glyph. Now, it's a bit confusing what this actually means. Let me start by saying that this is a mark of attack damage, a greater mark of attack damage. This rune gives you attack damage, easy as that. But this rune also exists for the seals and for the glyphs. I can show that you in the shop quickly, but I will do it differently. I will show it to you with the mana region seals and glyphs because I have both of them here. And you can see here that the greater seal of mana regeneration is a primary seal or primary rune. However, this one is a secondary rune. And the difference is simply the points you get per rune. Because as far as I'm concerned, I'm pretty sure that you also have mana regeneration marks, the red ones, but they give less than the primary seals. So you always have to think about which runes you want to use. Even if you follow pro players or experienced players who know what they are doing, you always have to think about which runes do I want to use and is it worth spending IP on them. Because, for example, I have a rune page here for, where is it? For Leona, and I'm using armor seals and armor marks. As you can see, the armor seals are primary, but the armor marks are secondary because they are not as efficient per rune slot. And this is the difference between primary and secondary. I hope that's clear now. It's quite confusing. If you have questions, you can ask them in the comments. I will answer them gladly. However, this is the rune system in general. I will not talk about rune pages or runes you might need. I will just let you decide for yourself for now. I might feature this kind of information or tips in champion guides. For example, I'm running a German YouTube channel where I upload champion guides, and I always put the recommended runes and masteries also there, so that's that. But I didn't want to include it here because this is just a guide for absolute beginners. Okay, so for the purpose of this video, I'm going to show you how much runes are actually worth. If you're a new player, you might think, oh, it's just a couple of stats, it's not important. It is very important, and actually every rune you're using has some kind of net worth, or is worth a certain amount of gold. And to show you this, I will use this rune page in the following champion select and gameplay. Alright, this is a custom game I created. This is just for demonstration purposes. This is the champion select screen, which you should know. And you can select a champion here, and you can select change your runes and masteries here. For example, let's choose Leona.
The dawn has arrived.
And the rune page I showed you earlier, which is HP, health points, armor, and magic resist per level. This goes for quints, marks, seals, and glyphs. That's how I call them. It's not a big deal. So, as you can see here, it gives me 17 bonus armor and 78 health, as well as 12 magic resist. For demonstration purposes, I'm going to clear this rune page, so you can see that I don't have any extra stats from here, because you can also get some stuff here like bonus armor and stuff like that. So I have an empty rune page in this game. Let's log in the champion, and I will show you that the stats you get by using runes are worth a lot. Yeah, welcome to Summoner's Rift, everybody. I'm going to show you, as I said before, that runes are worth a lot of money. For example, here you can see, if you hover or mouse over above these stats, how much bonus stats I'm getting. And as I said before, I'm getting some bonus health, which you can't really see here, but it was 72, I think. and 17 armor and 12 magic resist. So 12 magic resist doesn't sound like much, but it is a lot. For example, as you can see here, I take 30% reduced magic damage. And let's open the shop. A comparable item would be the Null Magic Mantle, for example, which gives me 20 magic resist for 400 gold. So 12 magic resist is actually worth quite a bit of gold. For it's roughly 200 and something, I think. 200.
Minions have spawned.
200 something gold, and also the armor, 17 armor is it's more than a cloth armor, which is worth 300 gold. So just by using runes, I'm starting with these bonus stats. Just add these together, it's more than 300 something plus 200 something. It's like 550 gold, which I'm starting with here just by using the runes. So that's why people who are a higher level than you, who are using runes or better runes than you, they are stronger than you. So that's why it's important to rune correctly and efficiently. Yeah, that's it. I also don't really like that you can't change the runes in Champion Select, just the rune pages. It's a pretty poor system in my opinion. It should be like for the masteries, but that's not how it is right now. We could just hope that Riot will maybe change this in the future sometime, but they probably won't, because that's how you spend IP, and if you spend IP for runes, you have to spend Riot points on champions and skins, so, or on champions at least. So that's that. But yeah, that was my rune tutorial. I hope you liked it. I hope I didn't talk too fast, or I hope my accent didn't bother you too much. I'm from Austria with a German accent, Austrian accent. So that's that. I hope you can deal with that. Thanks for watching, and bye bye.